Hey, so I just made a short video for Instagram that was 1 minute long about mindfulness and meditation and the value that mindfulness and meditation has added to my life. And so I think that there is a common held belief that mindfulness and meditation is when you sit somewhere and you cross your legs and you put your hands in your knees in the upward position and you summon the universe and you do all of these spiritual things, right? And so we can agree that that's kind of a common held belief. That's what I thought mindfulness and meditation was. And so my exploration into mindfulness and meditation began with one yoga class at a Lifetime Fitness in where was that? Lakeville, Minnesota. And I went to this yoga class, and for the first time I heard my thinking, because you're in a really quiet room, it's dim, and I heard that I was really busy in my mind, and it bothered me. I'm like, whoa, it's so loud in here. And the truth is that it wasn't loud in that room, it was loud in my mind. And so from there I started studying and reading mindfulness and meditation. I realized I was a very unaware person, I was unaware of myself, and I was unaware of others. And I literally thought that the way that I felt was how everyone else felt. I thought everyone had the same experiences as I have had. And I was very mistaken. Because this is just not true. Everyone hasn't had the same experience as me. Everyone doesn't think the same thoughts as me. Everyone doesn't think the same way as me. And so I would think like, whoa, this is mind-blowing. And I would tell someone else and they would be like, yeah, I can't relate to that at all. Or, yeah, I've known that for 10 years. And I realized, so back to meditation and mindfulness. So I started reading books about meditation and mindfulness, and then I just decided, okay, I'm going to practice this. So I sat in my living room and I crossed my legs and I put my hands in the upward position and I just sat there. And I decided that at first, like, I couldn't do it for 30 seconds without like wanting to squirm out of my skin. I was like, this is so awful. Like, who would do this? This is terrible. Like, I've got so many things to do. Okay. And I realized, as I built up my tolerance to mindfulness and meditation, my tolerance to it, I went from being able to do it for like 10 seconds to being able to do it for like a minute, and then being able to just sit and be for 10 minutes or 5 minutes before I was like, okay, wow, I feel centered, I feel good. And then, so then from there, what happened is a light turned on for me. So I was 26 years old, and I was in the shower and I was washing my hair. And I started rubbing my head, and I was like, whoa, that feels so good. And I'm like, oh my God, like, I think I'm mindfully shampooing my hair for the first time in my whole life. Okay. And the reason why that's important is because there's so many moments that we have, that we experience, that we never have and we never experience. We're there, but we're not there. And so being there, being present, is so important to living a full and abundant life. So I don't think you don't have to read a bunch of books. You don't have to go to yoga classes. That began a very spiritual journey for me, a very spiritual path. I was already a religious person, or I thought I was spiritual, but I really kind of wasn't, because I was very unaware. But I started being present. So like, I realized that pretty much when everything that I was doing, I was thinking about something else. And until I heard how loud and how busy it was in my mind, I couldn't, like in your phone, you can go into your settings and you can turn off all of your notifications. I'm parked, by the way. Excuse me. And so as you turn off your notifications, less things pop up on your screen, right? So you can do that with your mind too, when you become aware of how busy your mind actually is. So often people are going through life and they're just going through it on autopilot. They're not even aware of what's actually transpiring each moment to moment. And the moment to moment is what builds the big picture. And the choice by choice is what builds the big picture. And I think a huge aspect of living an empowered life is being mindful and aware. And you have to be mindful and aware of where you are, like what's your starting point is what I mean, not by where you are. And then you become aware of where you are. Like if you're at a park, like I can tell you there were times I was at the park with my kids and I wasn't there. I was literally there. I was pushing them on a swing, but I was thinking about all these concerns, all these worries, all these fears, all these anxieties, and I was